like to introduce my best friend, Emile Haddad, who I believe is the coolest man in LA. Emile?
Well, after everything that's been said, I'm worried that in the 2 minutes I might change your mind. People here, my team is here, and they know that I usually never prepare anything, so bear with me. So I figured maybe the best thing to do is to let you know about the why I do what I do, rather than what we do and how we do it, because people have already spoken about what we do, and the internet is filled with information about what a team of people that came together over 20 years ago and started dreaming about a different way that we can actually build communities, that we can be informed by the past but not get stuck in it, that we can actually make sure that we don't make the mistakes that have led us to a place where we even have to have an event like this to talk about climate change, because people were not aware of the fact that as we were growing, as we were developing, as we were building communities, we were causing harm to the environment. And rather than people start coming together to fix things, they decided to get entrenched. And these colors behind me actually are a good reminder of the fact that today we are living in a world that is watching people fight because everybody's entrenched. And we as a group of people, and I don't want to name names because Lynn was leading that group, and a lot of people who basically believed in the same vision are here. But we all came together and decided that there's a better way to build, that there's a better way to bring people together. You know, it was mentioned in the video that I grew up in Beirut, Lebanon, and I grew up in a civil war for 11 years. And there was a community that was created around the American University of Beirut, that despite the fact that the country decided to go to a civil war and very quickly got segregated between Muslims and Christians, about 100,000 people that made up that community, we agreed never to segregate. And we all believed that we are never going to be sucked into being polarized based on religion, because we were all educated. My parents used to tell me, somebody might take everything from you one day, but they cannot take what you store in your head. You can take it and start all over again. And little did I know how much that was going to be a reality in March of 1986, when my fiancée at the time came and we got reunited with a brother who was here already for 9 years. So, why am I telling you this? Because the one thing you watch in war, especially in civil war, is not what you're seeing in the Ukraine right now in construction of buildings. It is the separation of community. It is families being torn apart. It's friends becoming enemies. Every building you're looking at has people inside. I still remember the screamings and the crying of the kids when we were being bombed and we were inside those buildings. And I got a second chance. I was lucky. I have a friend of mine who's visiting from Canada who was in the war with me, and we spent the last 24 hours talking about that. I was lucky, and my friends who were much better than I was were not. And I got lucky to come to a state called the state of California. And that became the mother that adopted me when I had to leave my mother, mother country. And I decided that whatever's going to happen, I'm going to give every day, everything I can to give back to the state that took me in and adopted me. So a group of us in 2009 formed the company, although we'd been working together before. And we committed that we are going to be a pure California company, that we are going to be a company that shows that we can build places where, rather than having exclusive community, we will have inclusive communities. We're going to tear down the gates that separate those who have from those who have not, and replace them with trails and bridges that connect people. We're going to create places where 3 generations can live together, so we don't have to send our elderly to the desert and have them be traumatized living in houses to be taken care of physically. We decided that even a place in Irvine, and I apologize if I'm insulting people, which was a one-flavor ice cream, today we have public schools that have 72 languages spoken in them. We want people who have no means, financial means, which I don't know why people measure themselves by that. We want those kids to go to the same public schools with the kids of millionaires. Because that's the only way we're going to bridge the gap in social equity or inequity that exists today. And yes, we want to build every place as a net zero greenhouse gas emission because our kids want us to. I speak to all my peers in the industry when I say, if you don't think that the buyer tomorrow is going to hold you accountable to environmental justice, if you don't think that building a net zero community means you're building an amenity for the next generation that is even more important than the golf course of yesterday, if you don't believe in that, you're living in the past. And I'm not going to live in the past. So, Jonathan, I want to thank you for this. Where is Jonathan? I want to thank you for this. I know it's very unusual for somebody who, started a development company to get an award like this. But I want to thank you for our partnership. Because 14 years of litigation told us that everybody lost. 10,000 people or more are on the streets because we have a housing crisis. And we haven't done anything for the environment. And today, this partnership is finding the answer to finding the balance between social equity and environmental justice. And I will leave you with this. To me, I don't want to have the word sustainability be restricted to the climate. If we really are going to talk about sustainability, we have to think about a sustainable society. And a sustainable society means we have to think about all of the elements together. We cannot live in silos anymore. Thank you very much. Good night.